I'm Dr. Robert Gutzwiller. I work at SSE Pacific. I'm a human factors engineer, but I was trained as a scientist. So most of the stuff that I do is looking at how people interact with tools and technology. This is along a very wide range of things. Anything that a warfighter touches is at some level going to be looked at by a human factors engineer or a human systems integration expert. So what we're trying to do when we do that is make it very easy for the warfighter to use. So the importance of the human in the whole system and what they understand and how important that is for anything fast, that needed to be really accurate. So of course a pilot has to know exactly where they are in space at all times. Even more in the Navy, right? Because you have to land on a carrier while it's bouncing around at sea, and here you come screaming in at 400 miles an hour and you got to land it right the first time. People like me are the people who come in and say, well, remember, this is going to be used by a pilot. Where does the pilot need that? Where does it make sense for the pilot to see that information? So it's really a much broader concept than the human factors engineer title would make you think. I found the SMART program by the best way possible, word of mouth. It covered 2 years. I applied. By the time I was applying, I had a master's degree, and I was barreling down on PhD, and it was a continuous program at Colorado State University where I did my graduate studies. So I realized I just needed the last couple of years, and so that's all I asked for, and that's what they gave me. It was just kind of cool. It provides for so much. It covered all the tuition, a lot of the travel. You get paid during an internship that you do at the facility as well. That's a huge bonus. And I was living in Colorado, which has a fairly low cost of living, so the stipend was great. I went from very low, barely livable, and having to do a bunch of teaching to support that as a graduate student, to being able to focus full-time on research and not having to worry about anything. In fact, I even saved a little money to help with the transition away from grad school to the actual career. And of course, the job waiting for you at the end of that line is also very nice. One thing I really like about working here is that you know who you're helping. I think that's unique. If you work for Google, you're helping people who use Google products. That could be anybody. I don't know how to picture that person. I also don't really understand what they're struggling with, and I don't know how I'm going to make their life better or save lives, for instance. Here it's pretty obvious how that would happen. So some of the work that I do is related enough to real war fighting that I feel like I have a big hand in preventing death. And it's not just preventing it on our side and saving our troops. It's also about saving civilian lives. It's about saving lives in general. If we can do a good enough job doing deterrent, that means nobody fires any shots and we all just go to the table and work it out on paper. If I can have any influence on that, I count that as a huge win.